recording started. Here we go. Welcome to Cardinal House, and I'm glad we got you on here for an AMA. I'm glad you guys are all here tuning in to hear about Spring Game and all the crazy things they got going on. I know a lot of it might be a little bit complicated for some, but there is hopefully going to be some clearing up of things going on over there. Um, First things first, as we kind of go through, and I know I'll mention it later. We have, I believe, three NFTs to be given out. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we're definitely going to be giving away a couple trees with the NFTs after this. So you'll choose people, at random who listen to obviously what's going on, and you send me over you ask them for their wallets, and we'll directly give them their trees. It'll be pretty easy.
Awesome. So anybody here, if as we kind of go through, we'll be giving it to some of the best questions that you guys are asking. So if we have three outstanding questions, we'll be choosing those people, because those people are really trying to listen and pay attention and trying to give that little extra effort into what we're doing. And I know I'll mention that towards the end as well, but just to get it started, I know we do things. If you're ready, I know we do things a little bit differently here. And if you're ready, let's get into it.
Definitely, go ahead. All yours.
Awesome. So we like to start it off with a quick poll, a community poll that everyone can kind of get in on. So if you take a look, couple tabs up, you should see those AMA polls, that AMA polls channel. Go ahead and vote as we kind of go through this. But we got some questions just to kind of break the ice, get to know you a little bit better. Get some conversation flowing before we go into that deep dive about your project. Because really connecting with the team, I think, is one of the biggest pieces that is left out in AMAs, and we're really trying to allow people to kind of get into that a little bit more. So I
Yeah.
believe everyone
Get to
should be
know
able.
people, I suppose, with these questions as well.
Yes, exactly. All right. So when you're ready, we'll kind of get into them.
Okay, well, I've got them up. So must I read
Awesome.
them out and then answer them, or are you going to read them
Yeah.
out and I'll tell you my answer?
Yes. I'll kind of go through and I'll read them out loud and then have you give your response. If you have any reasoning as to why, you're welcome to explain that too. But first up, we got horror movies or action movies.
No, definitely an action movie kind of guy.
Not into
Like
the horror
horror movies.
movies.
No, it's not that I'm not into it. Like, let's be honest, half of them these days are terrible. They're more like comedies than actual horror movies.
I gotcha. That's kind of funny, actually. See, horror doesn't scare
Yeah.
you. All right. So, moving on. Would you prefer watching a movie or TV? Or I'm sorry, not watching a movie. Music or TV?
Definitely music. Music is something that speaks to the soul. A good movie, yes, I suppose it can, but music is something that has to be in the background. Like I've literally had to turn mine off now because I promise you, there's music 24/7 going on in my house. It's like crazy.
Gotcha. So I assume you're that person that works with it in the background constantly.
Yeah, have to. Otherwise, I'll go insane.
That's awesome. Uh, Next one up, we got. Would you rather get $100,000 each year for the rest of your life, or 2.5 million up front?
I would say the $100,000. No, actually, that's a tough one. Um,
In a little bit, huh?
yeah, you got me there. You got me there. I think the 2.5 million
To start
because
off.
25. Yeah, you know why? Because I can do more with it. Just by investing 2.5 million at a certain percentage, you can already get more than $100,000 a year just by its interest. So, and you'll be able to use a chunk and invest in proper places. So, I think option two.
Awesome, awesome. I love the reasoning behind that too. Would you
Yeah.
rather be the smartest dev out there or the best marketer out there?
Uh, I'm gonna be. I'm very envious of what developers can do. I'm great at marketing and I'm great at speaking. Maybe not now.
Mhm.
My voice sounds terrible, but I'm gonna say a bit of both. Instead of being a master at both, I'll just be like 90% on both. You know what I mean? Bit of both.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Are you late or early to events?
Definitely early. I'm one of those guys that's always prepared generally,
Mhm.
except when my brain's not working, like now with COVID. But otherwise, I love being early, which is weird because the rest of my family likes being late. So It's a constant fight.
You've been battling that your whole life.
I'll tell you that's made me become early because I see how they always late.
That's funny. Would you rather work alone or closely with the team?
Closely with the team. I believe one man deals can work to a certain degree, but there are going to be times and tough times where you need people to rely on, and a good strong team that you can rely on is something very beneficial, especially in this space.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely needed. I think people are starting to realize that. Um, if you, or I'm sorry, next up, would you rather be only able to run? I know you talked about working out. Would you rather only be able to run or lift for the rest of your life?
Lift, definitely lift. Running is point.
You didn't like running?
No, no, you're doing more. You're doing more to lose weight through lifting weights than you know.
I guess it's
And
really
if you
what
if
you
you lift,
enjoy, though.
yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, if you're looking at it sense from being healthy, like
Hmm.
I'm a personal trainer, used to be as well. You
Hmm.
can do more cardio with weights than you can by running. So
Yes, 100%.
yeah, exactly.
I'm with that. That's actually funny. Yeah, I've been a personal trainer for several years now as well. So that's it's a similar background. I know people
Yeah.
that just enjoy running though, just to kind of get out there and start moving a little bit. Uh, next up,
Yeah.
if you could only buy either NFTs or tokens for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tokens. Gee, I still don't get NFTs that much.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see where the integrations come with businesses in the future. I think we're heading there,
Yeah,
but right
we're
now
getting
it's
there slowly.
yes, for sure. Um, let's see. Next one up. Would you rather be faster than any human or stronger?
Uh, sure. I would say stronger. No,
Okay.
I'll stick to the weightlifting, I suppose.
And then, what is your favorite thing that DeFi brings to the table?
Well, DeFi is actually an amazing space. I mean, we've got a lot of bad actors in this space, but DeFi can be used for so much good with the right people. And I think we're slowly but surely, you know, weeding out the bad people because there's a certain amount of them and they try and come back in and do things the wrong. But DeFi can be such a great space, for smart contracts and stuff like that. And once it's used, once it's regulated, once it's moving at a good pace, I definitely think that, you know, in it can do a lot for the space, especially obviously, integrating new people into crypto. It's a
Hmm.
DeFi is a great to bring people that are not into crypto without even realizing it, if it's used correctly. Yeah,
Hmm. I think that's definitely there's been a recent focus on UI, and I think that that's definitely where things are kind of headed. So it's really fun to kind of watch that process because that's where mass adoption really hits, right? Where security meets UI uh, is really where you start getting a mass influx of or influx. Is that the right word? A mass adoption for the general person getting into it.
yeah. We'll talk a little bit later about what we're doing on our side. Like our main focus is actually, bringing in people into
Yeah,
the space, and
yeah.
we've done an amazing job of doing it. And we're almost done on some of the stuff with like our mobile app and stuff like that. It's almost got to look like Web 2, but it's Web 3 in the back end, and it's got to be as simple as playing a game on your cell phone. That's our vision.
Hmm. Gotcha. Well, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for answering those quick questions. Let's kind of move forward into firstly just like your quick introduction on who you are and what you bring to the team. And then we'll get into a more deep dive afterwards.
All right, cool. So you can call me Chicken, obviously, but my actual name is Jason. Um, I've been into crypto for many years. I'm the head of partnerships at Spring Game, and I do a lot of the networking, a lot of the obviously the AMAs. Somebody that can speak well, but I have a passion to work with people, and that's why I stuck to this kind of role. Especially trying to get points across, trying to obviously let people understand what we're trying to do. And once people get our long-term vision, they're very much hooked. A lot of people like to see the short-term stuff and can I make profits now and can I make daily this, daily that. which we've obviously catered for as well. But we're really looking to be a big powerhouse in the future through bringing new adoption for in the crypto space. So that's the aim.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think that along with everything we kind of just spoke about before is huge. Then kind of getting into a little bit more on your background specifically. Would you mind touching up on that and how that's kind of translated? Basically everything you've done has translated into the role you're playing now with the partnerships with Spring Game.
So I've been in sales for 12 years, um, obviously for different companies and different things. So also face to face, sometimes over the phone. Um, that's why I'm good at networking, you could say, and very easily, well spoken person. So that's why I've kept to those same roles, and partnering with other protocols and partnerships with the betterment of DeFi at the end of the day. So
Hmm.
I've stuck to that in my roles that I'm playing, to keep obviously doing it and going ahead.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think it's super important to kind of have your expertise and establish that early on and really trying to build on that with those, whoever's really the best at the job should, in my opinion, be the one kind of reaching out and doing, those respective roles because it just makes sense. Obviously, it's good, like you said, it'd be good to be 90% good at both, but you have your expertise and that's kind of what you focus on training up, which is super important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then I guess kind of branching from that, would you mind kind of talking about Spring Game and let's slowly start to starting off of that 10,000 foot view looking down and then slowly start to get into the intricacies and everything else.
Definitely. Okay. So Spring Game is basically a great way to make passive income on a daily basis. The way we've started is people come into our game purchasing an NFT seed. So we call it our mystery seed, and there's different tiers. You can buy one for a bonsai tree. You can buy one for an oak tree. What's nice about that mystery seed is that it has different rarities, same way any NFT would as well. So once you've got your seed, you plant it. We give you a free plot that you can plant it on, and it has a chance to grow. Let's say a bonsai, for example, you can grow a normal Genesis bonsai, or it can have a greater rarity like a silver, gold, or a diamond bonsai, which all have different, obviously, rewards per day. So you can actually get higher rewards. You could practically, come in on a lower tree, but you got the same rewards as one of the highest trees because of the rarity. So it's quite nice in that regard. And the daily percentage that people are making, they can cash it out, they can compound their trees, they use it to buy extra water packs. You can think of the game almost, I don't know if you remember the Tamagotchi,
Hmm. That's a throwback.
right? Right? So many people
Uh-huh.
get this throwback. The first version of our DApp is very similar. You got to take care of a tree same way you would take care of a tree in real life. You got to water it. You got to fertilize it to get more out of it. If it's planted in a specific area, it's going to do better. So we have plots, that people can specific plots that you can use for your trees as well that help it get better benefits. And you're basically getting these daily rewards that you can cash out in a nice, safe manner because we've also got an LMS system that keeps our price stable. So that's what's quite nice.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. And kind of diving a little bit deeper to that gamified, aspect of this. Would you mind kind of going through some more of the details maybe as far as timelines go? Because I know a lot of people might question like, hey, how am I supposed to, remember to do these kind of things? What would it look like? Like let's say you purchased a tree and, had to take care of it. What would that look like as far as the timeline goes?
So it's not like a crazy thing where you would need to come in and water it every single day and stuff like that. No, no, no. It's like a normal tree. Obviously,
Hmm.
you don't have to water a normal tree every single day. So once your tree is revealed and you can see it'll start earning your SPR, the spring token. You can come back after a week and you can accumulate those rewards. Maybe you use it to buy a smaller tree or compound further, buy bigger trees. But the water packs only come into effect after you hit your ROI. So you're already getting your money back basically. And then from there, you're basically then deciding to water it because a tree can die, it can decay.
Hmm.
So if call it our games reward period, and which is basically ROI. So your games reward period, we always give you 1.5. So whether it takes you 30 days for that specific tree or 50 days, then 1.5 times that, your tree will be generating 100% rewards. After that, it would move down to 50% rewards if you haven't watered it. And then
Hmm.
eventually it can never. So if you forget about it completely for 6 months, it can move down to 5%, but it'll never actually die. You can come back, water it, fertilize it, get it going again. So it's just a cool way to obviously gain these daily rewards in a fun manner. But it's all going towards the mobile app that we are designing and currently developing, that people are going to be able to migrate this whole protocol onto the mobile game that's going to be there for the masses. So for now,
Yeah.
it's a cool, like passive income that
Hmm.
people are loving. Um, but it's essentially going to evolve to a mobile app that you're going to be able to do on Android and iOS through the Google App Store.
Gotcha. That'll be very, very interesting once you guys kind of get that, especially because, like you mentioned before, the user interface and the ease of access is really gonna kind of hit once that's available.
Exactly, exactly, and that's where we're targeting. We
Hmm.
trying to target obviously people outside of crypto, and everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has that one silly game on their phone, that they play in a waiting room, or they have got 5 minutes at lunch that they're not doing anything. So that's the aim, to get into obviously that market. I mean, the gaming market is massive, just
Hmm.
normal games on the cell phone. And if people can download a free game, for example, like our SpringFi, it's going to be so easy to integrate those people. They don't realize that they're going to obviously be able to pay with fiat if they want to onboard and do stuff within the actual app. But at the same time, they're getting into crypto in small steps, and we're helping them do that by earning daily rewards. And our mobile app, that we'll get to that in a second. That's something so interesting. But that's our aim, to
Yeah.
do it in that regard.
Yeah. So why don't we, if you'd like, we can get on the mobile app, or we could take it a step back and kind of talk about the actual structure as far as tokenomics go. Whatever you think you'd like to touch up on first, but both I think are very interesting pieces that we need to get to at some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tokenomics, very simple. That's why we keep it, structured. We've got a great white paper and everything. It's very easy once you've read it. A lot of people think it sounds confusing, but it really isn't. You come
Hmm.
into the app, you buy your seed, and there's a hard cap on these first generation of seeds, because our mobile app will be tested within about a month, fully launched within about 2 months. Then the first generation of trees are going to be hard cap finished. Nobody can get them anymore. The
Hmm.
second generation is going to be a lot less daily rewards, because we have to now cater for the rest of the world. So on this mobile app. So tokenomics is very straightforward. We've left it there. It's not like it's a crazy amount. Um, I don't have it actually in front of me at this very second. I could suck thumb, stuff from my thumb, but I don't want to lie to anybody because of this. The brain's not working 100% right now, so I'm not going to lie, sit here and lie to people. Um,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
but
If you,
in terms of, yeah, go for it, go for
I
it.
was just gonna say, if you guys didn't know, he's currently has COVID, so uh, yeah, just give him a break as far as the old memory goes.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. It's like pretty fuzzy up there right now, and I even sound different. Anyway.
So yeah, kind of leading on from, I like the fact that you guys are really trying to make this whole ecosystem as simple as possible, and that's huge. Very briefly and concisely outlining everything that's going on. We've seen plenty of projects come up with these extremely complex structures, only not to succeed because of how complex it is. And potential investors can't understand what's going on. So I love the kind of focus on getting the new person, and once that next run hits, that's going to be really, really massive. And kind of going a little deeper into that, um, can we go over some of the mobile user interface that you had kind of brought up very briefly?
Okay, so basically, when it comes to the mobile app, the first version is going to be obviously 10 times more than you're just getting on the normal app that
Mm-hmm.
we're doing right now. But it's going to be cool. It's think about it's like half Pokemon Go, half Step In. I promise you, with augmented reality. So, for example, you're going to be able to plant your seed, outside in your garden through your phone, and
Hmm.
you'll be able to, excuse me, you'll be able to point your phone somewhere, and you'll be able to see a tree. You'll be able to see other people's trees. You're going to be able to water them. We're going to hide things in random trees in the game in real life. So you'll have to walk through the city and find this stuff. It's so amazing. And once we've already started developing it, that's why I said in about a month we should be doing the beta testing, and then 2 months it'll be fully launched and people will be able to start going in it. So the spring game protocol, that's basically a great stepping stone for people to earn passive income. But everybody that's got trees is automatically going to be brought over to the mobile app, and they'll be the ambassadors going forward. So they're very early. Anybody that gets any trees before the mobile app is super early, and those trees are going to be generating you passive income for the rest of your life. Like
Hmm.
we plan on this game go very, very far. We're not just another protocol. We're actually a registered company. Our company is registered in the Virgin British Isles. So we had to do with all the lawyer stuff. We've been obviously talking to the iOS and Android, and they've got so many hoops and hurdles for us to get through to make sure that it's all done legally. And
Hmm.
we've had to pay extra for that stuff. So the fact that we've been ticking off all these boxes on the roadmap, and our main goal that we sought out to do, we've actually started sooner than we thought.
Hmm.
And it's had obviously forced us to drop the hard caps on some of these trees because it's going too well,
Hmm.
um, and I suppose that's a good problem, to have. But the team has to work, like crazy now to make sure we get this all on track. The
Yeah.
mobile app is be something to behold, and like I said, it's going to bring people in with from outside of the crypto space, outside of the crypto community, and they'll literally be able to pay with their card, as we're
Yeah.
trading, you'll be able to, you know, buy things off the marketplace. Or you can trade your NFT in, and sell it on the marketplace. We're even bringing in an e-commerce right now in the next week or two that we're going to be partnering. A lot of partners have come to us and they want to use their tokens to create utility, and they're going to be using their tokens on our e-commerce system, which in
Hmm.
turn fuels our protocol as well as our mobile app. So
Yeah, that
it's going really well.
that's really exciting. That's really, really cool. I'm excited to see how that all turns out and how it looks, especially with the AR that you were, talking about. That is really huge. And I think that's where a lot of things are headed, and people might not see that, but I do think that that's going to be a very common trend in the next decade or so. Everything kind of moving into AR, whether it be on a phone, on glasses, that kind of thing. I think that is really, really cool that you guys are trying to integrate that way this early on.
Yeah, yeah. So the first version of the app that we release in 2 months, it won't start with the AR, but the second version
Hmm.
within a couple months after that, that'll have the AR where people are going to be able to enjoy this whole new world in front of them. You
Hmm.
know, whether it be the glasses or the cell phone, depending on each person. But it's something we've been striving to, for the
Yeah.
last couple months and all this. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
we really excited. We really, really want to get this pump.
Yeah, that is.
And yeah,
Oh,
from our side, just
I'm not sure what happened there. We'll see if he joins back. That was unfortunate. Maybe his internet cut out. Well, I guess we'll just hold up. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Let me get you back up here. Sweet, there we go.
sorry about that. Somebody looked like they turned on my laptop in the other
Uh,
room, and it switched between the phone and the
oh,
laptop.
really?
So
Gotcha. It's all good. It's all good.
where did I cut out though?
Uh, I lost you. Shoot, I was trying to change the volume because your volume got really loud, so I couldn't even hear because it was like my ears got blasted. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But you were starting to go into I'm sorry. That whole last sentence, like my ears. That's why I was like, "What the heck happened?" Um, but if you could restart at the beginning of that whole thing, I can't remember the last word you said.
Yeah, well, we were busy talking about the mobile app, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, in the
Yeah.
timeline for all that integrating with AR.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said, we plan to have the beta version out within a month that people can start testing it, and that'll be tested by our community, people who actually hold trees already.
Mm-hmm.
Then launch another month after that, and then a couple months after that, we will introduce the AR. So we're really going to have great marketers on board that have, that do these things in real life for Google Play Store and stuff like that. And it's really we're already the second biggest play to earn game in Japan, and I think it's got something to do with the bonsai tree. It's their national tree, and the cherries are obviously a big tree there. So it's a cool way to obviously get into the gaming. The play to earn is definitely the next biggest thing. I mean, we've seen
Mm-hmm.
node protocols come around. We've seen Rebase had its obviously its prime, but I definitely think the next stepping stone is play to earn, and a lot of people are obviously going to be able to use that to bring in the masses into crypto. I think it's
Yeah,
definitely a key way. Yeah, definitely.
that's awesome. And I think kind of taking a step back from the whole UI because you guys definitely have had a huge focus on that, which I think is vastly underrated in projects today. And people are like, ah, people understand this. It's like, no, like most of the people creating this are devs who understand much more than, even you or I probably understand about the back end of, how projects work, unless you're like undercover, just this insane uh developer. But for myself, at least, like the back end is far more complex than I think I have a very, very solid grasp on with some projects for sure. And so your focus on this whole UI is just massive. I think it's going to be completely underrated on how big it actually is. And kind of branching from that, um, going back a little bit, back to the tokenomics. I know you mentioned the LMS, and we have someone asking, like, I know you, or they said that I'm sorry, you created your own LMS, as per my knowledge. What distinguishes your system compared to Horde's or any other LMS system?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you. No, I'm kidding. Um,
It's fine. Do it.
no, well, we don't charge fees, on every single transaction like Core
Hmm.
does, because we actually a lot of people are coming to us for our system
Hmm.
because it is a little bit better in our personal opinion, um, and it doesn't matter how people agree or disagree, but it's working quite well. I mean, we started off the liquidity manager with about 100, just over 100,000, and I believe it's just under 200,000 at the moment. So we do obviously do the marketing in stages. We like to grow organically, but same as any obviously great coin, there has to be a bit of retracement before they can go up, obviously upward movement. It is
Hmm.
healthy, same as any project. People are, as soon as they see, oh, shucks, the price going down, and that's the problem in DeFi. As soon as the price goes a little bit down, people jump ship because, oh, it's going down. That's it. It's the end. When there is still one or two, great protocols out there that are doing it properly, growing organically, letting people take profit out, and then moving on and compound it. So it's not just about one constant lineup. And that's why we've kept our LMS and kept it at a stable point so that people that coming in can realize that it's for that stability, for the longevity of the project. And it's working really, really well. And I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about Horde. I know they weren't the first ones to bring it in. There was a couple actually people that brought in the same sort of system,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, you know, before them. And I know it's one of their big features of their thing, and it's something that we adopted in ours, um, with developing this new style. And we've actually upgraded it again, now that we're helping other projects, implement it on their side.
Hmm.
We've got so many cool features that no LMS team has ever thought of, not even Horde. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy how it's going to actually work in the future. because it's one of our extra sources of revenue. People are coming to us to obviously adopt our LMS system because it's obviously a tenth of the price of Hordes, firstly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then secondly, we don't charge fees at all. So it's a once-off payment. There we go. Here's the code. Run it. It'll work brilliantly. So
Mm-hmm.
it is something that is generating us revenue, as well as our trading bots that people are using as well. And that's why obviously you'll see our LMS and liquidity on the LMS is going a little bit down. We
Mm-hmm.
need to use some of it to obviously prop it up again, but it also shows healthy and organic growth. So that's very important to us.
Yeah. It's very interesting. And something else, like there have been a lot of projects out there, right, that have run with an LMS, not quite like yours, like you kind of touched up on. But they found that the incoming revenue wasn't enough revenue to actually support that long term. Do you guys have any plans to either shut off the LMS or change those ranges in the future? And kind of, if not, what are your revenue sources coming in that you think are going to supersede that need to change it, or lose a good percentage of the treasury?
Well, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
the people that are within the protocol now are only going to be a minority. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
1% of the total amount of people that will eventually be on the mobile app.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be self-sufficient and self-sustainable once the mobile app is done, because you're getting the whole world having in-app purchases, using e-commerce, other sources of revenue already. But the mobile app, we can't understate it enough. It's going to be massive. And the fact that we've already got big companies partnering up with us. Obviously I can't give out all the names, but as this thing launches, it's going to be on Google Play Store, where people can
Mm-hmm.
obviously, or we give them the free version, and it's going to be a way, like I said, it's half Pokemon Go, half Step In. You earning daily rewards by doing it, and not crazy amounts. That's where obviously people go wrong, and that's why they can't support the LMA system, is
Mm-hmm.
because their daily ROI that they're giving people out is not sustainable, basically. And
Yeah.
it's far better to adjust the daily rewards than trying to adjust your LMS. Because it doesn't matter if you try and bring your LMS down, once it hits the lower bracket, it'll keep going down. So you need to obviously think about sustaining the protocol itself,
Mm-hmm.
not through the LMS, but through external revenue. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what's been our key. Like I said, we started the LMS at just over 100,000, and it's closer to 200,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have this constant up. Yes, a couple of days ago it was just above 200,000 as well. So you do have that up and down, but generally it's obviously an upward trend. And for us, we've already calculated anybody that comes in now up until that thing will be
Sorry,
have enough money in it
say that one more
able
time.
to pay everybody.
Up until you cut out for a second, or maybe I cut out. I'm not 100%
So
sure, but do you
what I was
mind
saying,
saying that last sentence one more
what I was,
time?
yeah, sure, sure. So what we did is we calculated that anybody coming into the protocol right now,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough money in the liquidity and in the LMS that it will be sustained up until the mobile app launches
Okay.
2 months from now. So that's why we've done our calculations in that way, and we don't need to feed it anymore. Even if it does run out, you're just going back to the liquidity that's still being locked up. You're still getting your money back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's quite nice about our system. And we've calculated in such a way to do it like that. Obviously, you can always fund your LMS with more money, but we're going to eventually pull everybody over to the mobile app, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to be, yeah, it's going to be a game changer, to bring the 95% of the world in, and not just keep marketing to the 5% in crypto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And kind of branching off that, what are some of those other revenue streams? I know you mentioned that you are currently selling like the LMS as a service, essentially, correct? Are there any other
Yeah.
big revenue streams outside of that in the mobile app being developed?
So, firstly, like you say, the LMS that we obviously currently implementing with other projects, we don't charge any fees for that, so it's a once-off, a lot better. Secondly, we've got trading bots that have got amazing reviews and are working currently with our own treasury as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's helped to sustain our own protocol, bringing out that that extra source of revenue. that just
Hmm.
keeps pumping our sustainability on our side. The mobile app is one, something that we're really, really, excited about. In the next week and a half, we're launching an e-commerce system, and it's all about ecology and bringing in this. It's a huge topic. Climate change and climate control right now is massive in the crypto world because it's
Hmm.
eventually going to be regulated. So we have this e-commerce side where we're partnering up with a lot of great projects where they can come in and communities can use their native token to buy on our e-commerce system. And it's going to be amazing where it's this time of the year where you start thinking of December, you start looking to obviously buy a lot of things. Everybody has moved to buying online these days. So this can also be marketed to everybody with outside of crypto. Once again, you keep focusing on the people outside of crypto and not in. They'll
Hmm.
be able to use crypto to buy these items on our e-commerce, and that's just an extra source of revenue. So we've got 4 or 5 sources of revenue, outside revenue, before we've even gotten to our mobile app. But the mobile app is going to make everything else look like dwarves. You know what I mean? It's
That's how real world integration works a lot of the time.
the
For
fact
sure.
that the key is we've had these things in place. We've had a roadmap, everything we've ticked off, and people, there's always doubts, there's always haters, you know. But the fact is, if you look at our timeline, it's a constant uptrend, and we're marking slowly stuff off bit by bit, and we're actually doing what we set out to do. A lot of people don't even get this far. Let's be honest, in DeFi, you know, projects these days, you're lucky if they hit a month and a half, and that's where we're different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I that definitely makes sense, and it's really solid that you guys have been doing this for a good amount of time, and you guys have been consistently knocking those things off your list. That's a very, very good sign, especially in the space we're in today.
Exactly, exactly. People underestimate those things.
Hmm.
First of all, if you look at this roadmap and there's no, you know, long-term goals for external revenue, what are you doing in that project in the first place? You know, like obviously, then they're just there to take your money. But if you find actually projects that are setting all the money aside, like we didn't set any team tokens,
Hmm.
we had no part to invest in it. It was literally a passion of ours to get to this mobile app. And slowly but surely, each stage has been ticked off, and it's just going better and better every single
Hmm.
week. Yeah,
So
man. Yeah.
yeah, so you hit kind of a crucial part, I think, as far as the team goes, right? And that's a lot of problems with projects, and you guys have been working hard during this bear market, and a lot of sorry, I can't speak. A lot of projects hit that issue where if they're not generating revenue for the team, they can't continue to work, and which is why a lot of projects have an especially tough time in a bear market, just staying off the ground and really trying to actually get anything done. What is your team doing specifically? Like, is there any external revenue being paid to the team? Do people have work on this part time? What is the way that you guys have chosen to kind of go about that and continue to develop regardless of the market condition?
So what was nice is we've had outside investment
Hmm.
because people knew about the mobile app, and that was a way that we could sustain our team without having to take anything out of the protocol. A small percentage of the protocol is obviously going to marketing, development, and one or two of the actual team itself. But we don't. That's why we didn't allocate any team tokens or anything like that to make it as safe and a fair launch as possible for our community.
Hmm.
Because we automatically know it's a red flag if the team has access to their own native token. That's wrong, obviously, and it doesn't help your protocol be sustainable. So that's why we've done things a little bit differently. And with our outside investors, investing directly into the company, like you would on a stock market or something like that. That's obviously the approach we've taken because we serious have the serious vision and long term goal for this
Hmm.
mobile app. Other people have that same vision for us, so it was easy, obviously, to get that side of things going. And this was just a way to start building up a community as well. Communities earning daily rewards, passive income, but at the same time, they're all going to be the early adopters once the mobile game launches. So that's what's
Hmm.
quite cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I really like that response on that. So it's very, very important to have those external revenue sources for the team pay itself, because without it, people aren't going to be able to do what what they're promising or what the goal of the project is. So that's super important. Kind of moving forward. I know there's one specific aspect of your project that I really want to get into, and that is that real world utility that comes behind purchasing some of these trees. Um, do you want to dive a little bit deeper into that, because I think that's something that is relatively new, a relatively newer idea in this space, and I'd like to kind of dive a little bit deeper, because it kind of goes into the whole eco friendly goal that you kind of touched up on a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So we've partnered with One Tree Planted. It's one of the biggest, non-profitable or NGOs, or a lot of countries call it something different. And for every tree bought in the game, we're planting real trees in real life as well. Up to date, we've planted, I think, over 4,000 trees in the real world. And we do believe that this is actually also very underestimated. I mean, it was only a couple of months ago, and even still now, where lawmakers and regulations are clamping down on things like Bitcoin mining and stuff like that because of the energy consumption and the pollution. So even Elon Musk obviously gave out how many millions for people to try and take carbon dioxide out of the air and produce oxygen. The only thing that we know that currently does that is trees. So
Mhm.
reforestation is something massive. And when regulations comes in, that's why you see other teams like I'm sure you guys know Kyoto that of they're going to be the next stage in DeFi called refi, which is what we are as well. We're also a refi because we're doing something to help sustain the planet, not just sustain the protocol. So it is something amazing, for people to do their small difference in the world. We've got a lot of different people that have come into our system, our ecosystem, just to try and be an ambassador for the green side of things. They don't even want daily rewards. They're just happy to plant trees. So
Mhm.
it's quite a cool side of things. And, knowing you can give back to the planet just a little bit. And not just that, I think it's also going to help the long term and mass adoption because it's such a huge talking point, right now in everyday today living. Climate change is happening more and more. And if there's a project that's doing well and actually fighting against that, it's a no brainer to market it that way because that's how well it's going for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. I'm I'm very excited to continue to monitor the progress towards that app, because it's super, super exciting, kind of the approach that you guys have taken throughout this entire project. And I'm very curious to see, how the app looks and everything like that. Austin was asking a little bit ago, whether you guys have some kind of dashboard to track that LMS, similar to what Horde does. Um, and he was offering to contact someone for you, if not, but he wanted to see if there was any kind of dashboard for that.
Yeah, yeah, we do have it obviously on our side. If people are in our Discord, you guys can hop over there and check obviously how it's going as well. So the LMS system is completely run separate from the liquidity anyway. A lot of people generally they go onto deck screen, they see, oh, these guys have got 400,000 in their liquidity, but on their site it only shows 180,000, almost 200,000 on your LMS. Well, people don't understand that you first have to get through the LMS before you get to the liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
So combine the two, and that's obviously how strong a project's doing. So yeah, it's going really well. We do have a lot of those things in place, but it's also going to become, you know, not really necessary after 2 months when we obviously integrate the mobile app, and this all becomes redundant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm again. I think that that was such a great idea to start to integrate in that user friendly way, and I just think it's so undervalued. But kind of moving on from all those pieces. We have okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm reading through this question. It's a little bit tougher to understand. Um, so I'm gonna skip over it for now and come back to it. So someone was asking a little bit ago, can I get returns with my plum in perpetuity, or does the APY taper down over time, even after watering?
No, no, no. So it's fixed. So as long as you water your tree and you keep it healthy, it's a fixed APY.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And where does that play in with? I know you said that the way that you guys plan to do things is to adjust those APYs as time goes, or depending on the treasury and the health of the project as a whole. How does that fit in, or did I totally misunderstand what you'd said?
No, it is an option, but
Hmm.
that would be discussed with the community. For now, it's not even necessary because we're going so well. So right now it's
Gotcha.
fixed. There's no plans of changing it. Once we integrate everything with the mobile app will be generating sufficient amount of revenue, we believe, that we will never need to adjust those
Hmm.
things. The next
Hmm.
generation of trees, however, they'll have a lot lower APYs. So the
Gotcha.
people that are getting it now will keep these APYs going forward. There is obviously a chance where we could adjust it if the community is obviously behind that, but we always listen to our community. So you get serious investors that want to see something go long term, or you get those players that just want to try and drain products liquidity. And that's
Hmm.
why community is always important to speak to before making any decisions, because it's for them to obviously make it, because they're the ones that are either benefiting or not from the decisions that you make.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's definitely important. There's two pieces to it, right? You have the community definitely plays an important role in at least notifying them way in advance of any big changes being made. I think that DeFi and business are eventually going to meet in a spot where that is the norm. I the whole idea of community deciding is, I think, another topic that really depends on what the structure of the project is, because similar to any business, if you look at something like Tesla, right? And I like comparing Elon Musk's ventures a lot to crypto and that kind of thing. But Elon Musk, even if Tesla investors, even if the majority of Tesla investors wanted something to be done, who would you trust to make that decision? You'd probably trust Elon more so than a bunch of investors into Tesla. And a lot of that comes in, he's spending a majority amount of his time working on these things, and his expertise far supersedes the common investor. So I think that is another thing that slowly, as businesses start to integrate into DeFi a little bit more, that will become a lot more common. I think we're seeing that with some of the bigger projects here in the space right now. Um, so definitely, I think that as the space matures, we'll see a lot more of the, hey, this is what we're thinking way in advance, and here are some options. We'll give you two options on how we want to proceed, or this is kind of where things are headed. This won't be changed until you have your own time to make your own thoughts, or sell or buy, or whatever is going to change. But definitely community is a huge part of Web3 that wasn't possible before, and we're finding that middle ground with businesses today.
Yeah, definitely. And it just comes back to the fact of creating a strong community, because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, that's what makes or breaks a project. So if you've got that buy-in, you're not just buying into the protocol, you're buying into the people behind the protocol, the
Hmm.
team, what they stand for. You're buying into the white paper, their long-term goals. And if you've got serious investors doing that, there's no way you can fail by working with them, because they've got the same outcome, same vision as you do. So
Yeah, investing into a team is, in my mind, far more important than the project itself. I think a good team can make a bad idea really good, and a bad team will make the perfect idea fail. And it's huge. It's huge. A lot of people don't think about that all too much.
yeah.
it
I do see there's a couple questions in there. I don't know if you want to get to them, because
Yes.
I've got another one in like 8 minutes.
Yes, yes. Let's keep going along these questions. Um, so I've been reading the questions that have been brought into our channel. Uh, One, is your contract audited?
No, we didn't see the need to audit it because we're a registered company. So
Mhm.
our names, our addresses, our banking details are with the registered company. So we can't be a bad actor in this space because we don't just we haven't just done a KYC, we haven't just done a docs, we've done a proper registered company, and because we're going to integrate it with the mobile app, it's going to need to change.
Mhm.
So that's why it's in a month from now the contract's going to be redundant. 2 months from now it's going to be redundant anyway.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Those changes are going to be really tough to continuously audit. Is kind of what I'm hearing.
exactly, exactly. And there's no point wasting your investors' money by doing an audit every 2 months while you upgrading. So
Mhm. Gotcha. For later versions, in the next generation, do trees go with the seasons? And what does the care change? Like, are there going to be different fertilizers, or is it going to be kind of that simple, standard single fertilizer for different things?
no, there's definitely going to be like different seasons. Uh,
Hmm.
Same as like what we're doing now in our community. Each weekend we highlight a specific tree. So it's an oak tree weekend where we give special discounts for people to buy into special trees. It's the same that after the mobile app's developed as well. But obviously around the world you have different seasons at different
Hmm.
times, and we're going to be able to differentiate that depending on where you are in the world. But that's obviously what the mobile app plans to do.
So get those VPNs ready for getting some specific trees in season. That's funny.
Something like
That's
that.
traveling across the world to purchase the tree you want on sale. I like it. I like it. Um, kind of branching off of
Yeah.
that. What are the? Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
What are the utilities will these trees have outside of generating the SPR tokens?
Well, they'll be tradable through the marketplace as well. They'll also have their own utilities, with eco-friendly, restaurants,
Mhm.
eco-friendly um, companies. So we're planning on, once the mobile app is there, to partnership with a lot of other bigger places to keep this thing going as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, that's really exciting. Can you? I know you said that you can't release who these companies are. Can you say what kind of niche or what niche of business that they're in?
Well, if you look just at the one aspect, like look at the whole vegan thing, how quickly that's taking off, you know,
Hmm.
and it's becoming massive and massive. It's getting being widely adopted. That's one of the areas we're looking into because of obviously trees and you
Yeah.
know climate change. Actually the biggest one. I'd argue everybody is trying to get behind climate change and doing better for the planet. And we've
Hmm.
got one or two companies that we're going to be directly linking to make sure that we're doing things in the right manner, basically.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So kind of like a business audit of sorts.
Exactly, exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. I like it. Um, does the tree so I know you said that you're partnering with this company to, plant these trees as more trees are bought. I'm sorry if you hear thunder in the background. It's storming right now. But with these partnerships, are they going to be planting? Is it going to be something cool where they're planting different types of trees depending on the trees bought, or is it kind of just planting trees in general to further the overarching goal?
No, so what's nice is the community is actually going to be able to choose. So there's a voting system as well. Everybody who's in this Gen 1 before the mobile app goes live will be able to, we'll say, okay, what country are we tackling this month? Okay,
Hmm.
we're going to India to plant wattle trees, or we're going to California because they need cherry trees, for example. They'll be able to vote on that, depending on what that ecosystem needs currently. So that's what's quite cool about people obviously having direct input within the actual planting of the trees as well.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love to hear it. Let's take
Yeah,
a
I
look.
got time. I got time for one more question. Yeah, one
Yes,
more good one.
yes. Let's see. Let's see if I missed anything. See. I got you, Pi. So GRP is basically a time period. Do the water packs reset that time period? Like for example, 100% water pack to zero, 50% to half of current, or do they work in another way? If it does reset completely, does the team still stay rooted? and therefore rewards at a double rate relative to the first 100 days.
So 100%, a lot of people have this
Piece of
misconception
tree,
that
not team.
if I, yeah, um, it's better than just resetting it. You can actually go. So let's say your tree has 50 days of producing 100% rewards,
Hmm.
but here you only need to water your tree by the 30th day. Some people have watered their tree after 10 days. Now instead of having 50 days of 100%, they've actually got 70 days of 100%.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter when to obviously get it because it's not going to just reset it back to zero. You can actually add on the time as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And will these be able to cross pollinate? Will any of the trees be able to?
Yes, they will. So in the mobile app, people are going to be able to combine their trees to create like hybrid trees. That's a pretty cool concept, and they're yeah.
That's
I'm not
really
going to give
cool.
away too much. The
Just give it away.
the
Just give
cheesy
it away.
stuff.
It's fine.
But yeah, yeah. If anybody obviously ever has questions for us, pop into our Discord. We've got an amazing team there doing amazing things.
Yes.
Um, and I'd urge people to read the white paper, come, speak with us in our Discord. Our community would probably answer you quicker than we would because they're so cool and they
Hmm.
know everything. It's actually so cool. But yeah, from my side, I just want to say thank you very, very much for having me here. It's been amazing, talking to you guys, and
Yes.
I'm definitely. If any of you have any, my DMs are open to people in this chat, and then you'll obviously let me know, Chris. The one or two questions
Yes.
that you've who the trees go to that we're giving out to them.
Yes. 100%. I'll send you over a list of people and wallet addresses.
All right, perfect. But from me, yeah, I got
Awesome.
to run to the next one. So
Yes.
thank
Go
you
for
so
it.
much
Go
for having
for
me.
it.
We'll chat
Thanks for
again.
coming on. We'll get you on
Thanks.
soon again. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Chris. Have a good one. Cheers, cheers.